Alright guys, welcome to the round 7 review for AFL Fantasy. Had a pretty solid week. We scored 2,077 this week, round 7 ranking of 654, and we're holding the number 1 spot. So I'm really happy with how we performed this week. My rookies and midfielders, my premium midfielders, played really well, scoring really high. My rookies in my forward line sort of let me down, and my defense is pretty poor this week, but I'll talk about that as I get into my team. But before I do that, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, as well as comment down what you scored below. But in terms of my trades for this week, we went Trelaw and Zeeble in for Dunkley and Scholl. The reason we did this was Trelaw had a bit of value and Zeeble was in some amazing form. So we decided to go Dunkley to Trelaw and Scholl to Zeeble. Scholl obviously being a bit of a roller coaster, so it was a risk that I wasn't willing to take. So we traded him out to Zeeble. In the end, turned out pretty well. They both combined for a score of 200, both turned up, so that was solid. But like I said, pretty solid week. I'm happy with how we scored. Team values at 16.3 million right now. So we are going up pretty slowly, but our bench was pretty dead this week. So I'm not too happy with our bench. It's something that needs fixing. But like I said, we're holding the number 1 spot at the moment. There's a fair gap between me and number 2, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get into the team. Laird 94, pretty average week from him, nothing too special. Doherty 77, his first really poor game of the season. He's been a really good pickup this year. He scored 90 plus in every game, and he's dashed at a 77, which is pretty poor, but I think he'll bounce back. He's probably not a top 6 defender, so if you're looking to bring in a defender, probably stay away from Doherty. He's more of a top 8, top 10 defender, I reckon, but he's been a great pickup for me, so I'm not complaining. Tom Stewart was solid 102, really happy with what he's doing, and he's in some great form. Him along with Doherty, like I said, probably not top 6 defenders, so stay away from those two. Cumming 88, he was really good. He's been a great mid-price for me. He's made a lot of cash, taking kickouts of the Giants, so he still looks good. Lockie Whitfield didn't affect him at all, so he was solid. Markov 78, wanted a bit more from him, considering he played Collingwood, but I'll take a 78. We'll probably hold him for a couple more weeks, as we've got to fix up our bench and mid-prices and, all these rookies that are maxing out in price, so we'll probably hold him for a couple of weeks. Him and Isaac Cumming, we might hold through the buys. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And Miles Bergman, 83, really solid score for a rookie. So I'm really happy with the way he played. His job security should be solid at the moment, so I'm happy with that. Kaczynski on the bench, 53, that's alright. And Highmore didn't get a gig, so that's a bit unfortunate. But overall, our defense wasn't too bad. A bit disappointing from the premiums. They didn't really step it up, but it's solid. My mid-price is Cumming and Markov were solid, and my rookies in Bergman and Kaczynski on the bench were pretty good. So apart from my premiums, my defense was solid, I think. In terms of my midfield, this is probably the highlight of my team. McRae 113, he's an outstanding player, hasn't gone under 100 this whole year, so he's looking amazing. Merritt 103, him along with McRae haven't gone under 100, so looks like a great player. Both of them have been great starting picks. Tim Taranto 140, finally had a massive game and rewarded me really well, so I'm happy with that. Looks to be a top 8 midfielder, so probably look to bring him in some point in the season. Mitchell 128. His ownership is still pretty low, but he dashed at a massive score for me, so I'm really happy with that, and I'm happy that his ownership's low. Hopefully it stays that way, so he can get massive games and we can move up the rankings a lot more. Trelaw 100, solid debut. I'll take it. He was on 96 when the game ended, and then got a +4 added to his name, so bit lucky there, but I'll take the 100. Goulden 61, his cash generation's slowing down now, so he went down 11k, which is a bit unfortunate, so he's one we have to trade now. Powell was amazing. He gets the +3 for this week. For a player to get injured and play on and score 104, that's outstanding. And he's a rookie as well, so credit to Tom Powell. He was amazing. He kicked a goal, I think, as well, and he looked really well. He looked like a great player. Got a really rough elbow, I think, to his head, and was out for like 10 minutes. But still managed to get 104, which is outstanding. So if he hadn't got that elbow, he could have gone potentially 110, 115, who knows. And James Jordan, 91, really happy with that. Got a bit more time on ground, which is good to see. Started in a few centre bounces, which is good. And him and Tom Powell, I think, are the safest rookies to field. And Bergman probably. I'd back them in every week to score 60 plus. So I'm really happy with their output. McRae might get dropped this week, we'll see. Lazaro 56, he should stay in the side for a long time. He's a great player. Max Gorn, a bit unfortunate. Many coaches captained him, I know. So 72, that's a bit unfortunate, but he should bounce back. And Grundy as captain was amazing. Third highest player on my team. Third highest scorer, sorry, so he was really good. Flynn didn't play, a bit unfortunate, but we'll probably hold him for a bit. He's still got a bit of coin to be made, so hopefully he does come back in when Mumford gets rested and so forth. But that's that. Zeeble, 100, solid debut. I think Aaron Hall definitely affects his scoring. If Aaron Hall didn't play that game, he would have scored at least a 130. So Aaron Hall is a bit of a concern, but he's still managing to score well, so I'm taking these scores. Hind, 84, solid. Atkins, 65, not great, but we'll hold him through for a couple more weeks. Chad Warner, 74. He's probably got about 1 or 2 cash weeks generation in him left. And Robertson was poor, 44, and Ferrara, 38, pretty poor as well. So in terms of my rookies and my forward line, they really let me down this week. And I'm not confident fielding Ferrara this week at all. Maybe Robertson, but not Ferrara after that performance. He's playing more for key defensive roles, so he's not really, a marker, taking a lot of possessions. He's just playing on his man. A bit like a Jordan Butts role, kind of. So, bit of a concern. We're probably not going to field him this week. But, yeah, not a great game from him. James Rao was alright, 38. He's also going down a bit in price now, so look to move him on next week, not this week. Brockman didn't play and Meek didn't play, so bench is pretty dead at the moment. Overall, though, like I said, solid week. Could have scored a lot better. Forward rookies really did let me down, but it's fine. In terms of trades for this week, we had a fair bit. I think we had like 80k in the bank, so we're going to use that, and we're going to go Martin Frederick, who's had back-to-back. He's had a 60 and a 70, so he's looked good. I don't think Brockman's going to get a game anytime soon, so we'll trade Brockman to Frederick. Pretty sold on that trade. It's either Brockman or Rao to Frederick, either one. We'll have to wait and see. And then Goulden to Hall. Aaron Hall was sensational on the weekend. He looked really good. He was everywhere, so he looks like a great pickup. He's really cheap, and if you do look at his profile, he's basically averaging above 100, I would think. Yeah, so that game where he scored 11 was, I think he was the medical sub, so he played 5% time on ground. Then he played his first actual game with the Dogs, against the Dogs, scored 99. Played against the Crows, scored 123. Got injured in the Geelong game, was on track for another big round as well. And then played Melbourne, like I said, went massive, 143. So you take away those 2 games where he scored 11 and 35, and he's averaging well above 100. So I think he's a great pickup, relatively cheap, 575k. So he's got a lot of money to be made, and I'm putting the VC on him this week. I think it's a bit of a risk with his injury history, but I think it's a risk that I'm willing to take. But yeah, if many coaches know Aaron Hall, he's prone to injury, so I reckon he will get injured I reckon he will get injured at some point in this season, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's a risk I'm willing to take, like I said. And then if that doesn't really pay off and Hall doesn't go too well, we'll probably captain McRae. But I'm really keen with the matchup with Collingwood. Him and Zeeble should have absolute field days. So this is how our team's looking like at the moment. Like I said, I'm not too confident fielding Ferrara. So we did some DPP swap and brought Bergman into the forward line. We'll field Robertson this week, and Frederick, I'm confident fielding him. So that's how our team's looking like at the moment. Pretty happy with the midfield. Looks really good. Tom Powell, Warner, Jordan, all should score above 70. All look like great cash cows. So I'm pretty happy with my midfield, and my ruck department's pretty good as well. It's just sort of my forward line that's I'm a bit concerned with, but overall I'm pretty happy with how my team's looking like. We probably got to focus a bit on the buys in the next couple of weeks and make our trades based on the buys, because we want to have those 18 players playing every week. So I'll talk about that in my next video, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys next week.